if you felt like someone is meant for you and you're looking to bring them in, well, that's the chat that we're going to have today next to the fireplace. Very pretty fireplace. Alright, so I think there's two things that I want to explore. The first being that to attract a certain person, we must become that person. And then when we meet them, it will feel like family, like it's an extension of you, almost like you don't need to speak and you understand each other. Now, to get to that topic, before we talk about attracting and becoming, we must talk about the different issues that we run into, or the different lies that we buy into that keep us away from becoming. Number one is we see everything from a place of lack. And we go on one date, and it wasn't that great. We go on a second, and it wasn't that great. And so on the third, it was a little bit better, but you didn't feel any connection. You didn't feel maybe that you were playing on an equal field, but you were already making excuses and finding reasons as to why this was good enough. You see what I'm saying by place of lack? You're trying to find reasons and excuses as to why this is good enough. And so we end up being there for a good time, for a moment, but we never really see a future because this is just not the person we're meant to have a future with. And deep down we know it. And we want to become more experienced as lovers and in relationships. And so we end up wasting our time and the other person's time. In these dynamics, usually the other person is way more attached, and you kind of feel uneasy with the attachment because it is simply not reciprocated on an equal playing field. And that's when receiving so much feels weird. When you feel uncomfortable with receiving a lot, it's because deep down you know that you don't want to give as much. And it is bringing that to your attention. You know, even though we're having this conversation, I'm talking about basic points. And of course, everything that I say, you are free to question, and I invite you to question. It is impossible to put a video out there and to connect with 100% of the audience on exactly every word. It's normal if you have disagreement. That's healthy. In this specific video, I'm not telling you who to look for. I'm inviting you to look inward and see how you feel. Sometimes we don't feel valued and valuable in our relationship. Sometimes we can't truly be ourselves without judgment. Sometimes we avoid showing our weaknesses because we're afraid of what might come out. We don't feel like we can share blindly and express ourselves, but we stay because is there really more? Is there really someone that's going to make me feel the way that I want to feel? That's a good question, because at the end of the day, we have to make ourselves feel that way first. This is why we must become before looking outside for people to fill certain voids. And once that void is filled, what happens if that person leaves our life? We'll feel like a part of us is taken away from us. When we are looking for people and we expect them to become our partner, we want them to be the partner so bad that we are willing to dismiss certain things that we need, such as feeling valued, feeling respected, feeling comfortable being ourselves. Then we are looking for the idea of love and not love itself. We are looking to check the box, tick the box. I'm in the relationship now, I've made it. But there's still this hole, this void. And sometimes we resent the partner because they're not able to fill every void. And we bought into the lie of thinking that a relationship is going to fix things. Now, when I say becoming who you want to attract, it's to make your life purpose, to become the excellence that you want to be surrounded by. It's to build the courage, build the passion, build the strength, build the fun, the hobbies, build the compassion, the empathy. And while we can do a lot on our own, sometimes instead of going on that random date and just hoping for the best and spending 2-3 months investing into someone and then moving on to the next, we can be focused on our mission, our purpose, pour the love in our families, our friends, the people that are accessible to us, pouring the love where we can, making ourselves that person so that when we meet and when we come across the partner that we've been looking for, the energies recognize each other. And it's like all of your life, you've been building yourself up for that moment. And of course we can think, well, why would I do this for someone else? Why would I work on my fitness, my finances, my health, my emotional health, just for the idea of someone else that I may or may not meet? Well, that's the first sacrifice and the first act of gratitude that you can give in your relationship. And of course, that relationship starts with yourself, so that will never be lost. It's not like I'm asking you to do something that you'll end up regretting. But it will also benefit the relationship once you enter it. And then everything you've done will make sense. It will feel like all of your life was built up for this moment. And because you are so immersed in your hobbies and because you are so immersed in your passions, you meet people from that place, from that same interest. If you want to meet someone who travels, you got to start traveling yourself, packing that bag, closing your eyes, and getting that ticket. If you want to meet someone who is into art, cultivated, into having conversations, you got to immerse yourself in clubs and museums. Because sitting and thinking and wishing is an element of it. We love dreaming and we love using the mind as an amazing tool. However, never forget how powerful you are and how in control you can be and how responsible you must get. And when you know yourself to have built a lot, whether it's your character, your vision of life, your compassion, empathy, skills, then it becomes kind of weirder. You know, this idea that people could give up on you. I mean, they're free to. We're not going to stop them. You're free to go. The door is there. And we'll never get in front of it because we don't want to make people uncomfortable and trap them into anything. But they would be crazy to leave. You know, because you know yourself to have worked so hard and become that person. And of course, all of this you can take as ideas. Like I said, it's extremely hard to put a video out there and have everyone relate. But if there's one thing in that video that made you think and reflect, then my mission is complete. And this is coming from someone who had to actively become, whether it's emotional intelligence, building empathy, building skills, building character, or managing character. Sometimes you have so much character, it's all over the place. Recognizing my weaknesses, being more open, being more vulnerable, learning to trust. All these topics that we explore on my channel mean so much to me. And I want to end this video by saying thank you for being a part of the journey. Because when one person changes, then they have a ripple effect on everyone else. And that is the power of individual change. And so never neglect your feelings and never neglect your truth. It was a pleasure to have you over, and I wish you an amazing night.